first day in Guantánamo, you're put into a series of briefings. Security personnel, they're saying, the prisoners here at Guantánamo, they're all terrorists. They're the reason why 9/11 happened. They're the ones who caused 9/11. So you're hearing this as a young soldier, thinking these guys are dangerous in these prison cells where we haven't even met. Then you have counterintelligence personnel, intelligence personnel said, watch what you say here at Guantánamo. Your phones are tapped, any phone calls back home is being listened to. So watch what you say when you talk to your families back home. Also, there are people here we call TCNs, third country nationals. They're from the Philippines, they're from the Jamaicans. They provide most of the basic labor here on Guantánamo, from cashiers to the barbers and whatnot, but don't trust them, because they will jump for a moment to hear any piece of information about this Joint Task Force operation and sell it because they're poor and they want money. So don't trust these third country nationals. Philippines, Jamaicans, people of color. Then during this briefing you get a guy that comes out that looks like me. And they say, this is the Muslim chaplain. And when people in the military hear chaplain, they know that the cross is the symbol of the chaplain. But yet, the chaplain that's wearing this hat has not a cross, but it's got a crest. That symbolizes that he, me, is a Muslim chaplain. And he's the chaplain of the prison camp. Chaplain Yi. And he wears this symbol. And you'll see him in the camp. And as I begin to give my short briefing, PowerPoint slide, and this is what I used to brief. And I used to tell the soldiers things like, first and foremost, chaplains are members of the armed forces. They advocate for the religious freedom of people. And they have privileged and confidential communications. And I would tell the soldiers, who and what are the detainees? Simple fundamental question. They're human beings. Human beings. And they're Muslim. Right? And then I point out, why even mention that they're human beings? Because forgetting and failing to treat others with basic respect as a human being becomes unpleasant, both for you as a guard and for the prisoners, the detainees. And actually, many incidents have arisen within this prison camp where there is or has been lack of basic respect and causes turmoil within the camp. So I'm pointing out these things, and so picture in your mind, you're a guard who's hearing, oh, these are terrorists in the cells, but yet the chaplain is here telling us to treat them like human beings. So you're a soldier, you're put in this situation, what do? And more often than not in the cell blocks, when handling the detainees, and their team leaders are telling them to do this, do that, they're trained to step on the heads of the prisoners, step on their necks, step on their calves, even when they're just shackling their legs. But yet, they were told earlier that first day, oh, treat them humanely. Perhaps this is a cover, so when something goes wrong, and one of these violations occur, the military can say, oh, the chaplain gave the briefing and briefed them on how they should have been treating these prisoners humanely. So who do they blame? They blame that soldier. Not the command, not the captain who's giving the orders or the upper echelon, but it's the soldier. Now, picture yourselves as someone who was just in your everyday living environment, in your house, maybe outside your house, in the yard, park, whatnot, and then you're kidnapped. You're hooded, shackled, and you're brought to Guantánamo Bay. And now you're in Guantánamo Bay, and what they give you in your cell is a foam bedroll, just like this. And you're Muslim, and they say, this is your bedroll, this is what you have now that you can use to pray on. And so in Camp Delta, each cell has a bedroll, which was for the prisoners to pray on. The chaplain also would then come around, which was me, and also would give every prisoner prayer caps, just like this. These are actually prayer caps that were in Guantánamo when I was there. White ones and red ones. Actually, these were the type that were worn. And actually, I was able to bring these home from Guantánamo. We even had, in preparation for one day, maybe there would be a female prisoner at Guantánamo. To my knowledge, that had never happened. But we had also the hijabs that were also at Guantánamo in case there was ever a situation where there might have been a female prisoner at Guantánamo. I was also given hundreds of these prayer beads for the prisoners to give. And these were the actual types of prayer beads that were given to prisoners at Guantánamo. Right? So then the narrative becomes, we have these hardened terrorists at Guantánamo Bay, but we as the U.S. government are treating them humanely. Why? Because we have our chaplain, the good Muslim, who serves the U.S. military, the good Muslim in City